54 minutes past the hour. We have 3 minutes for two callers. It's going to work out perfect. And you are the first caller, but let me let the next caller know you will be next. And so those that are holding beyond that, if you have a question for Gary Aldrich, hang in there. If you don't, open forum in that sense is over for this hour because we only have time for two more calls. Hey, thanks for checking in. You're on the air. Hi there.
How you doing? This is Steve Young from Atlantic City, and I want to talk about systemic racism and July the 4th. There was a protest on May the 31st that was very peaceful, and we showed people how you can do things in a peaceful manner about the racism and the things that's going on since what happened to George Floyd. And one thing that...
By the way, because something happened to George Floyd, why does that mean there's systemic racism? Because that sounds more like a cliche, Steve. You and I have known each other for a very long time. Why is this narrative, systemic racism, being used and overused again and again and again? Is this not the greatest country in the world?
It's the system of the company and the people and how they carry out the traditions of this country. And it's based on racism that's been oppressing the black man and the black woman that's been in America for over 400 and some years.
We elected an African-American president twice in a row for 8 years. How racist can this country be? That required a lot of white people to vote for an African-American candidate, a lot of Hispanic people to vote. I reject this systemic racism thing. I think it's not true. I think there are bad people. That was a horrible cop that did what he did, and I called him out from the second that he did it. But I feel that you're using this to paint the entire country bad when we're a great country.
Well, if you have the majority of white police officers in a blue uniform that's mostly shooting unarmed people and mostly black, then there's an issue that's in this country that we need to talk about. And if we don't talk about it, that's when things start ticking. So we need to talk about it more. And it exists right here in Atlantic City, a lot. The oppression and things have been taken away from the community, from the government. And when people try to do something for themselves, they still have their knee on our neck as a people. So if we don't talk about these things and we don't try to talk about the solutions to it, then we're going to continue to have these problems.
Well, I'm glad. You know me, and I know you. I'm happy to talk about it. I just don't think it's as widespread as this current narrative is trying to make it. That was a bad cop. He's going to be held to account. He was charged probably quicker than any cop in American history. I have every belief he's going to be convicted. I think he'll be in jail for the rest of his life, and he'll be held account for the murder that he did. But the vast majority, I don't know if it's 99.9, 98.75, whatever it is, the vast majority of police officers of all colors are law-abiding and good. More cops get killed than vice versa, than what we're talking about. You can't deny that, Steve. I just think this is, folks, including you, that you're exploiting one bad act to make it seem like it is the rule. And I think it's the exception.
No. Well, this has been happening for years. It happened, like I said, in Atlantic City and other places. I mean, the numbers don't lie. All these settlements from law enforcement and excessive force reports that we knew about in our community for years, everybody's overlooking, just like they're overlooking now the racial issues that happens in our community. And it has to stop. We have to talk about it. Me, you, and others is listening. If we don't talk about it and we don't educate you on what the black people go through and our culture and how to deal with it, then we're going to continue to have these issues. So everybody's trying to go around it. It has to stop. So on July the 4th, we're going to shut Atlantic City down to show the light of the systemic racism and the issues economically and socially and the oppression that happens right here in Atlantic City.
Steve, for right now, we're in the final minute, but I want you to hold because I want to talk to you off air. I want to set up more time for you and I to continue this conversation. But in short, don't you think that's about the dumbest damn thing that you're saying right now? We're in the midst of a pandemic, and the casinos and other businesses are finally going to be able to open, and you're proud that you're going to shut Atlantic City down on July 4th. Are you insane? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not innocent. I got a lot of sense.
Do you think that's a good idea? People have been out of work for 3.5 months. You're going to shut the town down when it's going to be reopened for 5 minutes. Steve, hold on. Please don't go away. I have a guest next hour. I would love to continue this, but I want to talk off air so that we can take each other's contact information down. I think I still have yours, but I want to make sure that I have it so that we can continue this. I do just want to say on its face, I respect your right to protest, and especially when you want to do it peaceably. But why would you do that on July 4th? Why would you do that in these current circumstances?